Right, so welcome back to the workshop then. So we've got the Westone looking really very lovely. So the next job is to get it playing as nicely as it looks, and that's going to be all about setting it up and getting the correct action. So yeah, that's what a large part of this video will be about. So right, over to the bench then. So so the strings are on, it's sort of up to tension, and I've just checked the neck relief and it's much better now. Before it was about 0.7 of a millimetre at the 7th and 0.6 at the 12th, and now when I check with the straight edge across the frets it's 0.3 of a millimetre. So obviously reduce that by tweaking the truss rod quite considerably. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the strings to the action I had before, which was about 2.5 millimetres at the 12th right the way across, and then I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it overnight to see whether or not the neck moves under continuous tension, and then if the neck hasn't moved at all, well then I can invest the time in doing the perfect setup, shall we say. So yeah, so let's now take those strings down. So I've got these little gauges here, and I can see that they've got to go down quite a bit. Right, so that's 2.5. Just take that back up to pitch. Yeah, okay. And the next one. Right, it's the next day and the neck hasn't moved. That's absolutely spot on, so I'm pleased with that. Now, if I measure the action here at the first fret, let's see what that is. And if my memory serves me, yeah, that's 0.9 of a millimetre. Now, if I fret it at the first fret and measure at the second, that's just about 0.4. So I reckon I can probably take that down to 0.5, i.e. by reducing it 0.4 of a millimetre the action. I reckon I can take that down to 0.5 comfortably without the frets buzzing. Normally I would use my special nut files, but this being brass, I'm just going to use a variety of needle files and just take it really slowly, because obviously a brass nut like that is really quite unforgiving. Right, so that's the file, and then a little bit of abrasive paper wrapped around the cocktail stick, just to give it a bit of a smooth, and then we can test it. And just take it back up to pitch. No, still got a bit to go. That's a bit more than 0.5. So yeah, take a little bit more off. See how it's looking at on the nut there. And yeah. And we'll test again. Right, so it's getting closer. And you know, as the old cliche, you can always take a bit more off. So just take it steady. Give it a So yeah, 0.5 of a millimetre there and about 2.3 there. So yeah, very pleased with that one. One down, 3 to go. That said, it's a hell of a lot easier than doing the mandolins with 8 tiny little strings. Okay. Right, so that's the action adjusted then. So I've gone down from 0.7 to 0.35, 0.9 to 0.4, 0.9 to 0.4, 0.9 to 0.5. So, you know, quite a substantial lowering there. And then at the 12th, I've gone from 2.5 all the way across to 2.2, 2.2, 2.2, 2.1. So the action is much, much lower now. So yeah, that's that part sorted out. Last thing to do, give the truss rod cover a clean, find it some new screws and put that on. Nice little attention to detail. The truss rod cover scalloped at the end there, exactly the same as the head shape, reflecting that. So yeah, like that. So that's it. The last screw, the last detail. Fantastic, job done. Well, since I got the bass playing a few days ago, I was so pleased with it that I felt I should invest a little bit more time and maybe a little bit more cash into it. So one of the things I decided to do was to install a brand new set of made in Japan Goto tuners. So the tuners that were on there, the original possibly Goto Westone labelled, they were fine on the bench, but they did feel a bit kind of gritty under tension. So I thought, yeah, treat it to a new set of tuners. And what I've done, I've kept the old tuners so that if at any point in the future I sell this on, somebody could have those tuners as well. You know, at the end of the day, this isn't a museum piece. It's something that I want to be able to play and enjoy playing. So the tuners is a definite improvement. I also had a little bit of a play with the action again, and really I've ended up with it, well, what I think is ridiculously low. 2mm going down to 1.6mm. And really what that has meant is that the bass now is incredibly comfortable to play. When I was first playing it, you know, you felt you had to kind of dig in a bit. But now, yeah, no, it plays really easily. So I'm very happy with that. So I think that's a combination of obviously adjusting the truss rod, adjusting the action, and refretting it with this wide low fret wire. Yeah, so it's really nice and easy to play. I did speak to you about the thumb rest, but as I've been playing it, I either tend to put my thumb here or here, and really that thumb rest would just be redundant. So I'm just going to live with the holes in there. Yeah, I mean, I'm very pleased with the way the bass sits actually. I mean, I'm not used to a 34-inch scale, but it kind of sits there quite nicely, and you know, I can reach up there and play it really quite comfortably. So really, hats off to Westone for getting that right. The ergonomics of the bass really do work. Yeah, so shall we see what it sounds like, or rather hear what it sounds like? I think the other thing that has impressed me is really the tonal range of this P-style pickup. So from its kind of bassiest rattles, the workshop rattles, but that really is kind of low and deep, isn't it? To its trebliest. Yeah, so really, really, really impressed with the way it sounds. Yeah, so again, well done, Mr. Westone. So I guess there's no disguising the fact that I'm very impressed with this Westone Thunder 1 bass guitar. Yeah, it's very well designed, well built, sounds great, and I think a combination of its original construction plus me refretting it and setting it up correctly has made it a very, very good instrument indeed. It's 44 years old, and I think it's got a good few years left in it. So yeah, very pleased, and I think my intention is to keep it for a while. You would have seen the short scale bass that I built for myself. And really I want this as a complement to that, a long scale bass and a short scale bass. So yeah, very, very pleased with it. So I just want to share a few thoughts with you. Now we all know that the value of any instrument is really based on its desirability. And these 1980s instruments don't seem to be as valuable, or as desirable I should say, as those made in the 60s and 70s at the moment, which is I think a great shame, because the quality is so much better. You know, by the 80s these Japanese factories have really got their act together and are, you know, churning out world-class instruments. Now when you have a look on eBay, you can see these Westone basses at a buy it now price between about 200 and 480, and that upper end is for a really immaculate one that's probably spent most of its life sitting in a case, unlike this one which has spent clearly its 44 years being played and having quite a hard life. So can you buy one of these cheap, flip it, make a profit? So this cost me £190 in an auction, and I put into it about another £80, tuners, strings, bits and bobs, you know, the strap pins, I guess consumables. So let's say we're up to 270. If I'd taken it to a repairman, another luthier, to fret it for me, that would have cost about another £200. So I would be up into the 470 price range there, price bracket or whatever, which is really the top end of the market value of one of these. So no, I don't think you could make any money out of this. But you know, why do it then? Well, one, it's actually quite good fun. I enjoy doing it. Two, it's a good way to learn about instruments. Even at my age, with my experience, you're still learning new things, which is good. And the other thing, from a kind of environmental point of view, I feel that that's another one saved. Another one that can go on for years and years, and another one that doesn't have to be made in a factory somewhere using up valuable resources. So yeah, those are some thoughts for you. And you know, this is really a lovely instrument. I can't emphasise it enough. And if this was new now, I think people would be happy to pay at least £1,000 for it. I find it difficult to imagine finding a factory built instrument, bolt on neck, etc., that would be better than this. But there you go, that's my thoughts for what they are worth. Anyway, many thanks to you for taking the time to watch these videos, and also for the interest that you've shown in them. quite a few of you are Westone owners past and present. So yeah, thanks for your interest. Yeah, so until the next time, you keep yourself safe, and hopefully we'll see you again soon, probably with a mandolin. But anyway, see you soon. Cheers.